Hi, lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranad. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into this. I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where Palestinian people are actually having emotional breakdown, all because of TP is backing out of his promises. And I was able to put up some of those stitches. The season that we are in the FAFO season. I'm just going to roll it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section and let's dive into it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for We Told You So, Episode 7. Now, while I tried to warn people for months here, the people on the far left who were not going to vote for Kamala Harris, I tried warning them that the Palestinians in Gaza already wanted Kamala Harris to win. In fact, they wanted anyone except Donald Trump. But people on the far left still continued to do things like not vote or vote for Jill Stein and completely act against the Palestinians they supposedly care about. And now after Donald Trump's win, in places like Chicago, we had Palestinians protesting his win. While all these people on the left were riding on their moral high horses thinking that not voting for Harris was going to send a message that we draw the line at G side. Yet the Palestinians here are pretty pissed about people's decision to stay home and allow Donald Trump to win. Especially when everybody was showboating and pretending they cared about Gaza. And really, they just opened the doors and gave the keys to the authoritarian who told Netanyahu, do whatever you have to do to win. He's not going to stand in Netanyahu's way. He's not going to issue any restrictions on weapons like Biden did. He's not going to speak out on a ceasefire like Kamala Harris did. He's not going to build a new port for the Palestinians in order to get them aid and food. He's going to sit back and watch Netanyahu destroy Gaza so that he can build beachfront properties. And all these people on the far left who were pitching a fit about Kamala Harris and the Democrats just handed the country over to the guy who is going to guarantee the destruction of Gaza. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. The Watermelon Brigade's tactics and their concept of their plan was entirely brain dead. Mainstream media is also finding out after the fuck around phase, where they decided for years, especially leading up to the election, to not hold Donald Trump accountable for any of his fascist rhetoric or the things he said he was going to do, trying to keep themselves relevant just for money and clicks. Meanwhile, Trump has many times issued threats, including recently, about putting the crosshairs on the media, completely taking away freedom of the press and having journalists locked up. In fact, he wants governmental control over the FCC to have state-run media, just like in Russia and North Korea. We told you so. And while it still does not make any sense that Kamala Harris would have lost every single swing state, the only one that would have made sense to me would have been Michigan because of the large Arabic population there that had been brainwashed into thinking that Harris would be a worse choice for Gaza. However, once again, I have to point out that these Michigan activists who voted to abandon Biden and abandon Harris was started by treasonous Trump humper General Michael Flynn, who had been courting the racist MAGA mayor of Hamtramck and the Arabic community for a few years now, since about 2021. He got that Muslim mayor who endorsed Trump to tell the citizens of Hamtramck and the surrounding areas that they should vote for Donald Trump. Across the country, the trend was that Muslim and Arabic voters were actually endorsing Kamala Harris. But this had a big impact in Michigan. Tons of Muslim and Arabic voters turned out against their own interests to vote for a man who actively wants to deport them and ban them from the country. Make that make sense. We told you so. Jill Stein ended up winning 22% of the vote in Dearborn, purely from people voting third party because they were told not to vote for Harris. And they thought that voting for Jill Stein would somehow not result in a Trump win. These Jill Stein voters are now regretting their decision as they realize, as people like I have said multiple times in the past, that Jill Stein is a grifter and a Russian asset. She's a hypocrite who does absolutely nothing for 4 years and then shows up a couple months before an election to siphon votes from the Democrats, jumping on the bandwagon of whatever the latest hot-button issue is, like Gaza. She started saying, I'm going to be an anti-G-side president. She siphoned off about 30 to 50,000 votes in several states. She knew she was never going to win the vote. In fact, as I've stated before, there was a Green Party rally about a month before the election where Jill Stein spoke. And the speaker before her said, we are in no position to win the White House. They know that they are not going to win the presidency. Their only goal was, quote, to do something historic and take away a Michigan victory from Kamala Harris. They knew the entire time that they were helping Trump. Yet what does Jill Stein have to say about the election results? She said, once again, the two-party system has delivered a disastrous result for the American people. The Democrats have no one to blame but themselves for losing to Trump again. Again, after this woman does nothing for 4 years and then just shows up to complain about Gaza. Pulling votes away from the Democrats and then blaming the Democrats that it's their fault. Now that she got all that money from your donations and she lost, she can now slink back into the woods for another 4 years, and she can come back a few months before the election in 2028 to sucker you guys all over again into throwing your vote away. Meanwhile, Salon actually did a nice little big piece about the 6 big lies that won Trump the election and how a lot of people fell for his gaslighting. The meat and potatoes of it being things that he said like, I'm not perfect, which means your expectations that I behave like a human are unreasonable. Confronted with bad things that he did in the past, he would say, this is more than a decade-old video, which means it was a long time ago, so why are you fussing about the things that I've done in the past? These words do not reflect who I am. That actually just translates to, the reality that you just experienced didn't actually happen. Don't believe your own eyes and ears. Donald Trump has been telling his followers for years to ignore what's happening right in front of their face, and they dutifully did. He told them that the prices were going to go down, he was going to make the economy wonderful, even though the economy's already been doing great under Joe Biden. And just like last time, Donald Trump is going to slowly tank it into the ground. His mass deportations and tariffs, according to economists, are set to drive our unemployment well above 10%, and are set to push our inflation well over 11 or 12%. As we've already seen in the last couple days, companies have already started denying bonuses, laying people off, and increasing their prices in preparation for Donald Trump's tariffs. They are buying up as much as they can right now before the cost of their raw materials and supplies skyrockets. Which means Donald Trump has not even taken office yet, and companies are already increasing their prices because they know it's going to be bad. So all you people who got suckered under Donald Trump when he said, the higher the tariff, the better, you just got screwed over and all your prices are increasing. Even though, once again, we told you so several hundred times. Gas prices are going to go up too, the one thing that you guys seem to care about more than anything else. The cost of everything is going to go up under Donald Trump. He completely lied right to your face. With those stupid lawn signs that said Trump low prices, Harris high prices. He suckered you into buying a Chinese-made sign that lied to your damn face. And you still voted for him. I hope in a few months when you lose your job, lose your house, lose your Social Security, lose your benefits, and you can't afford groceries anymore, I hope that you have even a nanosecond of self-reflection to blame this on the right person. Because if you're still at that point blaming old presidents like Biden or Obama, you truly are lost. It means that you will continue to lick the feet of Donald Trump well after he bankrupts you and destroys your life. Once again, this has been We Told You So. Find out phase for a lot of ignorant voters is going to take a long time.
Hey Johnny, I'm glad you covered the economic side. You guys realize a company makes a profit. So if you tariff goods, that increases the cost of the good for the marketer, who is still going to make a profit. In other words, you fucking pay it. The company ain't going to pay it. No, they're going to pass that cost right on to you. It's going to be on the price tag. So let's say this hoodie was $40, made in China. Now with tariffs, it's $80. Now you could buy a US-made hoodie, which is $100. All you did is jack your own prices up. You stupid... You know, if people who don't know anything about economics shouldn't talk about it. See, Johnny, he does. But y'all MAGA, you clearly don't know shit about economics. A man who went bankrupt 5 times is not a business genius. Okay? Guy who has to constantly grift. A college that don't teach you shit and that certificate ain't worth the paper it's printed on. Yeah, no, you can't get a job with a Trump university degree. That don't help you get hired. Nowhere. That's why they got sued and went bankrupt. Unfucking believable. And let me tell you something else. If you deport everybody, you deport all the cheap labor, what do you think that's going to do to your prices? Did you think they're going to go down after you deport all these people? I don't know why you hate immigrants so fucking much. But you fucked around and you're about to find out. Hope you got some money in your back pocket, MAGA. I know a lot of you don't. Yeah, no, in my experience, most of the people who vote MAGA are not very well off. Probably couldn't afford one medical emergency. So when they get rid of Obamacare and you got no coverage and the hospital does the bare minimum and kicks you out the door because you can't pay, good luck with that. You guys are going to start dropping like flies. You voted for it. You made your bed, you shit in your bed, now you got to lay in that shit. I'd also encourage you, MAGA, to take a look at testimony from people from the day of long knives and the day of broken glass. One of them's by Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator himself, the Republican governor of California. He left his fucking country out of shame for what his country had done. It was that bad. Same with the day of long knives, the brown shirts. You should really look into this stuff and realize what the fuck you did, because none of those people can wash the stain of it off their soul. Many of them took their own lives because they didn't stop it from happening or even voted for it. Adolf didn't have to steal an election. He won. Yep, he did. And to this day, the Germans are still ashamed. You know, you can fly a swastika here in America. You can't in Germany. It's a prisonable offense. That's how ashamed they are. That's how badly it's stained their souls, and there's still people alive who remember. The ones that didn't take their own lives out of shame, guilt. And let me tell you something else, too. If you're a Christian, you're going to pay for this. Because those SS guys, they're not in heaven, I can tell you that. Christian nationalist is not Christian. You're going to find out. No one lives forever. You fucked around, you're about to find out. But you could maybe unfuck it. Or just spend the rest of your life doing penance. Which still won't be enough after you see. Ask them about the day of long knives, the day of broken glass, the brown shirts. Much like your khaki pants tiki torch wearers. Okay then. God remembers and sees everything. And I know that pretty much all of you who voted that way for some reason think Trump represents Christianity. He's the most unchristian man I know of. You would have had a more Christian man if you had put in a cereal on a liver.
There appears to be a case of buyer's remorse among Dearborn residents who supported Donald Trump in this past election, specifically because of the fact that he went back on his promise to negotiate a ceasefire by November 6th in both Lebanon and Palestine. Frustration among community members is growing now that violence in the region is continuing to escalate, and in an open letter penned by the MENA American Chamber of Commerce to Trump on November 8th, they reminded him of his promise to these constituents. The letter very directly references Trump's commitment and urges him to follow through on this promise, asserting that many Arab Americans, especially in Dearborn, only voted for Trump because of his outreach to the community and his supposed stance on Middle East issues. Ceasefire discussions, however, have not changed course since the election, with a U.S.-backed proposal once again only proposing a temporary ceasefire deal for Lebanon. The current proposal calls for a 60-day truce following the UN Resolution 1701, which would force Hezbollah's disarmament south of the Litani River. Lebanese parliamentary speaker Kpe.Ple has reaffirmed Lebanon's stance against compromising its sovereignty as these peace talks continue. However, the fact that he even has to reaffirm this information is concerning in and of itself. The withdrawal of Hezbollah soldiers leaves the south of Lebanon ripe for the taking for Israeli troops. So it's worth noting that if Trump does follow through on his promise to secure a ceasefire deal in Lebanon, this could be a particularly disadvantageous.
Okay, so this is an open letter to all the Palestinian and Muslim Americans who may have voted for Trump. If you're not one of them, you can go ahead and keep on scrolling. So I say this with all the love that I could possibly say with, wait, you made a mistake. And God willing, it does not turn into a grave or a fatal mistake, but you definitely made a mistake. So not only did you vote against the interests of the people who have been sitting here and, protesting, losing, and quitting jobs, and literally mental health in shambles, risking themselves for your cause, but also, you voted against yourself. Donald Trump called migrants not human and animals. And I know not everybody I'm speaking to right now is an immigrant, but did you really think he didn't mean you? Did you really think he didn't mean you? And beyond that, right? I don't know if you guys remember or recall this, or maybe you didn't vote then, or maybe you didn't know this at all, but the first time he got elected, immigrants and people of color were hiding. Do you know why we were hiding? Because of the chaos that ensued. Because his supporters felt so safe and being racist and xenophobic and going around and banging on people's doors and yelling at them that you're gonna get deported and yelling racial slurs and doing all sorts of stuff to people. They felt real comfortable doing that. And my question to you is, if this were to ensue, and God willing it does not, none of this happens, right? But if this violence and this chaos were to ensue, do you think that you would be an exception? Do you think that you would be an exception? Like, do you think that you would not be targeted? Also, many of you being people of color and immigrants or family members of immigrants. Donald Trump is a liar. He's a warmonger. He's divisive. He's racist. He's sexist. He does not care about people who are not rich for real. And you think that you voted in your own best interest, really? I'm disappointed, to say the least.
We are feeling a whole range of emotions as we process Trump's victory. Donald Trump is playing our communities, is playing American voters, is playing the Arab and Muslim community. And it is failed democratic leadership that is allowing him to do that. I mean, the folks who voted for Trump are not theoretical to me. The folks who voted for Trump are my cousins, my friends, people who were tasked with a very difficult task of carrying a lot of grief and trying to do a politically savvy thing at the same time.
Well, no surprise that Dearborn Heights, and City of Hamtramck voted all for President Trump. I think that there were a clear indication that this community was truly upset, angry at the Biden-Harris administration.
Like, seriously, Lovelace, with the whole thing that is really happening, or with the whole thing that it talked about on these, stitches I was able to put up together concerning the people of Pal and how disappointing that they are now feeling with the fact that what they really wanted is not what they are getting. I am just feeling so bad for the people living over there. I am not even, concerned about these people that is all about, spewing things and trying to contradict people that is actually passing through such a thing. Like, seriously, these people, sees an opportunity to actually see if whatsoever thing that was happening or that is still happening in Pal might be stopped. But they decided that they are going to bring sentiment, then putting the real people who are actually facing the real predicament in a jubilee. Like, all of these protests, all of these regrets, all of these, thing that has been going on with this season is something that might be avoided. It could have been avoided, assuming, some sentiment was not involved. But no, some pro people are actually the enemy of their own. Seriously, lovelies. Just imagine after all said and done, this is when you are all out for a protest. Like, the thing is that I think going forward, all of these protests will actually be a thing of the past, because I do not see it in future, protesting being allowed. The way at which things are moving right now, I don't think that protests will be allowed anymore. Like, why is it that this protest was not there? They didn't come out in full force to advocate, to actually bring themselves together, their own community together, just the way at which people that looks like me did. Why didn't they actually come out in full force, to speak and to also advocate within themselves of what they really actually want before the election? Why are they all out right now advocating, protesting? What are they going to get out of this protest? Because it is already done and dusted. It is done and dusted, lovelies. Like, not only did they, like, these people that is actually facing the predicament in power should actually blame their own people, that their own people are the reason why whatsoever thing that is actually happening is happening right now, because they did not do their own part. They were all busy abortioning blames instead of them to actually come out, you know, form some kind of a committee in order to have a very strong bond and actually, think truly what might help them or not. But no, they don't want to. The only thing that they are all out for looking for is how to send a message to a colored person, you know, to send a message. You were supposed to use your time, the time you had, to, advocate, call your own people together, try to tell them or give them the reasons why you feel that, okay, let us vote for this person. It is actually a lesser person. That means if people over there who is actually facing whatsoever they're facing never wanted, TM, why is it that all of the pro people that is living in are all out there? Oh my goodness, this does not really make sense. They were supposed to call themselves, you know, think trees like think things through, trying to compare and contrast all of the policies that was listed there during the, you know pro or pre-election periods. But no, they were all just looking for blames upon blames, who to hold accountable. I know it's very good to actually hold people accountable, but first of all, you have to hold yourself accountable and try to see what you can actually do that will benefit your own people. But all they did was to, launch a sudden campaign of abandon Harris, thinking that that is going to be, or you're sending a message to someone that might probably be of help to you, but you chose to send a message to this person that might actually consider looking into your own problems, instead of you to use that time and that energy and you know the program that you launched to launch a coming together program of your own community on how to take your community forward and how to bring up a plan in order to actually stop whatsoever that is happening over there. And now everybody is like, oh, these people have to do something before the new government takes in. Like, you knew that these people were supposed to do something before the new government takes over. Why didn't you fight? Why didn't you do all of your best to actually make this government to stay? if you so believe that this government might do something before the next government takes over. Like, I do not even understand all of these things. Like, I don't get it. You know within yourself that with these two individuals, one person might likely, while the other might not even care. But you chose that you want to send a message to the person that might likely over the person that don't care. Like, are you not actually doing yourself? Are you not doing yourself at this point? And now you're all out, protesting, advocating, and oh my goodness, you know, you are now out when everything is said and done, and now you want this to actually do something before the next government takes in. Like, that means you actually believe in this present one. So why didn't you fight for it? Why didn't you, you know, launch a kind of campaign to do everything possible for us to make sure that this is still there in order to see if this person is going to help us out? But no, you chose to go for someone that don't even care about you. I just hope he does. Like, I hope he does. And I hope all of the things I've been seeing, all of the stitches that I've been seeing will turn out to be, oh wow, he's actually, he actually know what he's doing. He actually has a plan, and people will be happy at the end of the day. Because I have been seeing so many FAFO, and I just keep on wondering, where have these people been? Where are they? During the campaign, where were they? Like, why is it that you are making all of the research, and now that everything has been done and dusted? And now what do you want people to do? What do you want people to do right now? Before you know it, you are now, oh my goodness, this is just so, I don't even know how to feel about all of the things going on. Because you had the opportunity to choose something for yourself, but you chose sentiment. You never knew that things might turn out to be no, you knew, but you just want to go ahead. You want to go, or you think it's a joke. Like, I saw some stage about, oh, why did I was using it as a fun. Like, I just want to have fun. You shouldn't have fun with your future. You shouldn't have fun when things are going to skyrocket. The price of things are going to skyrocket. You shouldn't have fun with that, because if it's affecting the top, it's going to affect the whole world. It's going to affect every other person. Like something I saw about, surviving and privilege. Surviving and privilege. People don't even care about privilege anymore. People are so concerned about surviving this time. Like, it's so unfortunate that it is just after the spill may have already been spilled. That's why you have to take precautions. Anyway, love this. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Please, when you're leaving a comment in this section, just be, just use some kind of abbreviations in order not to, what it is, how we do it here, what it means for someone that looks like me, So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Leave your thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and I will see you love this when I upload. I love this. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one.